Hello everyone, welcome to another video of a truck I'm going to do today at Premium Motors. It is our 1987 GMC 3/4 ton 2-wheel drive big block fuel injected pickup truck. It's a very nice, very good condition truck. I got it from a family whose the father passed away, and this was his truck, and they brought it to me. A purchase from them. I had to do a few small things to it, nothing major. Change the oil, you know, just little basics, safety inspection, all that stuff, and got it on the road. And I've already sold it. The car is sold as of me filming this, but I thought before it shipped out it's going to Texas, I should make a video of it and tell you a little bit more about it. So let me pull it out, and then I'll do a walk around outside where you can see it better out here in the parking lot, in the bullpen, and we'll go from there. Okay, here it is outside. Car spent most of its life living under a carport, not necessarily in a garage or anything, but protected from the weather for the most part, and it had a canopy on it for a long time. You can see that it had a little bit of touch-up paint work done. It looks like on this side of the bed, which was, I was told, was a little bit more in the sun area than the shady side. It was on the south side of the carport we parked it. The bed is in really nice shape. You can still see it has all the factory caulking and most of the seams all the way around. Now it's old and cracked, but there's no real dents or dings. Some scrapes from sliding the canopy, or sorry, camper in and out of it. It is got camper wiring on it and everything. It still has a factory GMC hubcaps. Still has factory stickers. Here a little show some age and crack. It is factory two-tone, kind of the Goldie two-tone, Goldie on black. The old school bug guard. Really clean interior. Very nice shape. Pretty heavily equipped car. It's got power windows and door locks, heater, AC. The dash is in really nice shape. The seats are in very good shape. The headliner's nice. It's really hard to find. It's not super hard to find, but you don't come across many trucks, because trucks were normally used in this good a shape. The dash is really nice shape. It has a crack in the windshield, and as of this time, even the owner that's purchasing it knows it. I tried to get the windshield replaced, and it's during COVID, and nobody has a windshield in the West Coast for one of these trucks that my glass suppliers can find. The glove box, pretty clean. Still shows you all the, you know, 87, you have a sticker, shows you all the codes. It shows this is a factory 454, factory limited slip differential. Both tanks, dual tanks, are working. Factory radio does work. You've got to find a radio station though. And heater controls, fuel gauge. The gauges are all really clean. I know it's hard to tell, I'm just using a GoPro, but doing the best I can to show you. We'll pop the hood and we'll open up under the hood. It does have a small exhaust leak on the passenger side of the motor. So it's got the original insulation under the hood that's coming down a little bit. but really it's one of the ugliest looking things on the truck. But the firewall and everything is nice. Still, it's all stock under the hood. Nothing too crazy going on. This is the second battery for the camper setup. Shows all the exhaust, emissions control, AC, big radiator. These big blocks, kind of like an old 67, 68 Chevelles and stuff, had remote power steering, reservoir pump fluid, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, really clean, fuel injected, so it starts up nice and easy. 87, I think, first year fuel injection, and also last year this body style, right? Last year the square body. So that's something that, you know, it's kind of cool. I haven't seen really any rust in the car. The rockers are really good. I'll lay down and show you the underneath here. It's got the dual saddle tanks. It's hard to tell, but it's got overload leafs on it for the towing package. Still has a little catalytic converter, it looks like, up there. Everything. I know it's hard to see. I don't really want to lay under there when the truck's running, but I also don't like just starting up big blocks and then turning them off. It's not ever good for a big block Chevy. Factory dual exhaust on the truck, factory tow hitch. This arm over here is the mechanism to get your spare tire out. It's got the big rear end in it. I think it was 373 gears when I decoded those stickers. Overall pretty nice. It's got some rock chips on the front. It's got a little crack here. The rest of the grill's in good shape for its age. I believe they're the original bumpers on the truck. Somebody put a Sure Step rubber mat thing on the top of that so it's not as slippery. But the overall patina of the truck is really nice. And I will quick mount the camera in it and we'll go for a spin around the block and you can see how it drives. Oh yeah, factory, these are on the decode, the factory tie downs on the side of the bed and the back tailgate. I did have to buy a replacement. This emblem was missing. I did buy that. That's a replacement piece. And I didn't have to buy really anything else for the truck though. Everything else was good. So let me mount the camera inside and take you for a spin around the block. Hello again. Just finished moving the truck around. Mounted the camera. We'll go for a quick little spin around the block. Lock up the shop and everything. So yeah, what I like about this truck is it drives really good. Aussie rear end. You can hear that little tiny exhaust leak in the motor. It's not bad. Runs really good. The suspension's still nice. The shocks are still working good. I prefer these older school two-wheel drive trucks over 4x4s because they are a lot better to drive down the road. This particular truck I did mention earlier, this is a Turbo 400. This does not have the overdrive transmission in it. A little more heavy duty, little less issues. The Turbo 400 is a pretty bulletproof engine, or sorry, transmission. I think the horsepower rating on the motor is not too great, 230, maybe 245 horse, somewhere in there, if I remember right. But it is a pretty torquey motor. Still had like 375 and 385 pound-feet of torque. So it actually, and through the 373 gears, it gets up and pulls pretty good out of the hole. It sounds decent. You can maybe hear The seat squeaks a little, but I'm a taller guy, so my seat's all the way back for my driving purposes. Truck drives really good. The steering's still nice and tight. It's showing 60,000 miles on the odometer. I could believe it's a real 60,000 miles. If you pull a Carfax or an auto check, even though the beginning of its life is not reported, it's showing 160, but it's original carpet and everything else, so I don't necessarily know if the Carfax is right. If it is, it's a very, very well taken care of 160,000 miles. Under the hood doesn't look like 160,000 miles. Under the truck, it's not dirty enough for 160,000 miles. It doesn't look like it's ever been cleaned. It's just, you know, 160,000 miles. Driving in the rain and doing all that jazz is it just doesn't look like it to me. But I really don't know how it could marvel. The speedo gauge isn't bouncing. All your oil pressure, amp gauge, water temperature, that's all good and working. The radio does work. I don't know why it takes a minute to come on. I will say that. It's kind of weird that way to me, but it does come on eventually. The heater works nice. The horn, steering wheel, like I say, look, the alignment's good. I didn't have to do an alignment on it. I think the old man that owned it took pretty good care of it. Power windows and stuff are working. That's very good there. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it does have a broken windshield and crack up there. I called 2 glass suppliers that I use, and nobody can find a windshield for this truck on the West Coast. They're telling me it's because of COVID. When I made this video, it's February 4th, 2022. We're kind of still in the middle of COVID. Yeah, I'm struggling with parts for some of my other cars that I'm trying to finish up in my shop. And it is a real issue. But this truck overall drives really well. I'm very pleased with how it drives. It sucks on fuel. It's probably 8 to 10 miles a gallon, maybe 12 if you're just putzing at 60 on a nice flat highway. But the way this truck was ordered and built, with the big block and the heavier duty rear end and overload shocks and the camper equipment and all the stuff that you decode on the tag over there with all the codes on it, this truck really wasn't meant for any sort of fuel economy. It was meant to tow a camper and work. My grandpa had a very similar truck back, but he had a small block. It was like baby blue color in the mid-80s. I remember when I was a kid. He was a painter contractor, so he always had paint buckets and everything in the back that I remember. But it was basically this truck. It might have been a little earlier though. I don't think it was an 87. But it was like 84 or 85 square body. Kind of nice blinker chime still. Now I said the radio works and now it wasn't working, which I don't understand. Maybe it doesn't like that channel. Maybe it's because the windshield. Working and I turned it off at the car, so I will weird old quirks. Anyway, I will finish up this video. Looks like I got a customer waiting at my shop, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Like I say, if you like it. If you want to subscribe. I don't make a lot of content, but I put some up occasionally. So have a good day.